What's up, losers, and thanks for clicking on this video. Today, I've got a strange countdown for you. Now, at this point, I think it's pretty obvious that us here at Zero Loser Studios love video games and superheroes. But another one of our loves is the horror genre. All things scary and spooky fill us with joy, whether it be things like this, or even this. But today, I'm going to be breaking down some infamous horror movie killers. There have been so many slashers and hackers that have earned themselves a nice place in the Horror Hall of Fame. Killers like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger all bring their own special brand of crazy to the table. People just love to be scared by them, it seems. Of course, the killers on today's list don't quite compare to those guys when it comes to brutal efficiency or overall scare factor. But make no mistake, this video is all about the lamest killers that can and will still whoop your ass. Number 5 on this list is not as big of a joke as the other 4, and he's earned more than his fair share of popularity, just like the other monsters I've previously mentioned already. The very first Child's Play movie came out back in 1988 and was written by Tom Holland. No, not this Tom Holland that we all know and love. This one. The movie was the first time audiences were introduced to Charles Lee Ray, but you may know him way better by his nickname, Chucky. The movie starts off with Charles, a serial killer, being chased down and cornered in a toy store by a cop. In a desperate attempt to escape and with no true explanation as to how he even knows how to do this, Charles uses a dangerous spell that transfers his soul into a nearby good guy doll. This transforms the serial killer into the knee-high, butcher knife swinging, foul-mouthed menace that we all know and love. The movie's reception, despite initial controversy revolving around the idea of a horror movie centered around a kid's toy, was widely successful. Since then, there's been 5 sequels, all differing in quality, a television show, and a reboot. Then why do you ask, am I putting Chucky on this list? Well, I mean, come on, look at him. I know I'm not the only one who thinks he can take on a doll with a knife. I don't even know anyone who still finds these movies scary. Entertaining? Yes. Scary? Not quite. Regardless though, Chucky is only number 5 on this list. Number 4 on this list is not actually a soul killer, but an entire race of alien species modeled after circus performers. That's right. Number 4 on this list goes to the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I'm gonna be honest here and say that I have seen this movie multiple times, though I'm not too sure why. I mean, I don't even like the movie. I don't even find it particularly funny. I just find it sadly horribly bad. It was written, produced, and directed by the Chiodo brothers, and God, it came out the same year as Child's Play. If you've never actually seen the movie, I'm not gonna recommend you give it a try. Maybe give the trailer a watch and decide if you want to dedicate more than an hour of your life to this film. As expected, there's not much in terms of explanation or reason for there being a whole race of aggressive clowns, but I don't think that's even my biggest issue with the movie. I guess if you're someone who's actually afraid of real life clowns, then maybe you'd find these aliens scary, but I just find them to be goofy and corny. The acting is atrocious, of course, and the kills are, again, corny at best. There's cotton candy guns, balloon animal search dogs, and this And yet, despite all of this, Killer Clowns from Outer Space has a big cult following because, of course it does. It was pretty well received, and despite all the things I've said about it and all the clips we've shown you guys, people seem to love the fact that it was so unapologetically horrible. Number 3 on the list is where things start to get really weird, as in weirder than possessed dolls and alien clowns. And that's because number 3 on the list goes to Lubden, the Leprechaun from Leprechaun. The first of way too many of these movies came out in 1993, written and directed by Mark Jones. Fun fact, it starred Jennifer Aniston in her debut theatrical film role, and it's easily her worst movie. Easy. If you look up some critic reviews from this movie and read them, you'll probably have a lot more fun than you would actually watching the film. There's so much to say about this movie, but the general consensus is that it's not good and not bad enough to be funny, just bad. The Leprechaun character, played by Warwick Davis, is a whack villain. He's always making lame jokes that don't land and making stupid decisions that make no damn sense. On top of that, there's this one horribly bad scene in the first movie where the guy gets jumped by some kids. Still, I guess his lame powers do come in handy here and there. He takes shotgun blasts to the face like a champ, and he even gave an old dude a stroke in the very beginning of the movie. I'm not sure how to fight back against a stroke, so I guess he'd whoop my I guess. Alright, up next is number 2, and I'm sure a lot of you guys think I'm going to be making this one up, but I assure you, the horror that is the Ginger Dead Man is very much real. This movie was filmed in 2005, and like Child's Play, is about a dead serial killer that gets animated into an inanimate object. This time, yup, a gingerbread cookie. First off, I want to say that the serial killer was played by Gary Busey. While you let that process, I'm going to also say that the acting was of course horrible. The movie is barely more than an hour long, and it's still a nightmare to get through. There's only a total number of 6 kills in it, and they're all pretty boring. Unlike the Leprechaun movies, I will say that this movie did actually make me chuckle here and there because of how ridiculous it is. Plus, the movie wasn't painfully racist like, well,
What's up, ninjas?
but anyways, this is yet another pint-sized killer for the list. Am I scared of the Ginger Dead Man? Hell no. Should I be? I don't know. Maybe? If it came down to it, I'd probably just try to eat the cookie killer, but someone in the movie does actually do that and just ends up getting possessed. So that's probably how I would go down. I always knew my appetite would be my downfall. Finally, we've reached the very end of this week's list, and we're gonna finish it off with one of the most horrendous, horrible, lame-ass horror movie killers to ever exist. Number 1 on this list, and the lamest of horror killers that you should still be afraid of, is Robert. Yeah, that's right, Robert. As in, this guy. And just in case you guys didn't see that, yeah, this guy. This is Robert. He's a tire. The killer tire from the 2010 movie Rubber. If you haven't seen the movie before, I don't blame you, but I'd be pretty surprised if any of you guys haven't at least heard of it. When it comes to horror comedy blends, weird isn't new territory, but this movie goes where not many have gone. It circles around a lone tire in the desert that suddenly becomes sentient. Slowly, as the tire gets acquainted with its ability to move, it becomes fascinated by its ability to roll over small objects and bugs. Pretty quickly and without explanation, Robert also seems to discover his ability to make things explode with his little tire brain. He goes from killing rabbits and crows to making people's heads explode. The movie is just as stupid as it sounds, if not more so, but a lot of people out there tend to enjoy it for its bold style of storytelling. I personally am not a huge fan, but that doesn't change the fact that Robert would absolutely destroy me in record time. I'd personally be too distracted trying to figure out how a tire is moving around by itself before getting my big head inevitably blown off. Fuck you, Robert. And with that, we are finally at the end of our little countdown. From killer dolls all the way down to psychokinetic tires. It doesn't matter how stupid you may think any of these killers are, they're still killers. There's plenty of more stupid horror movie killers out there for me to talk about, so maybe I'll cover them soon. For now though, thanks for making it this far in the video, and don't forget to like and comment down below what's your favorite cheesy horror movie. Also, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. But until next time, I'll see you later, losers. I'll be right back.